And welcome back, episode 21, Jumpin Offsides podcast, right here at our Space Cowboy studios. I have plenty of help tonight, let me tell you. This is all coming together for us here. Louisiana Downs, our big sponsor, Kevin Preston and the gang, they make this so good for us. And this is our Space Cowboy studio, as I said. Over my right shoulder, I have number 71 for the Gators, 72 for the Jags. This is a man that's an accomplished ball player, to say the least, UF Hall of Famer, an NFL man for me. Mike Pearson, welcome to the show.
What's going on, guys?
Also, I want to talk about my new guest, too, that I have here. JD Liles. He's in this week, sitting in for us. He's going to try to keep Mike sane this week with and try to hold us steady with our Florida Gator problems that we have and how we like to pick them. So we need that steady hand to kind of bring us down a little bit. I'm pretty sure he will. JD and Mike are here. We're glad to have them. I want to talk a little bit about, just to dive right in and let everybody know, it's so hard for me not to look over my right shoulder, but I want to talk about the games that we had last week. JD and I talked a little bit about it to recap. So we had number 1 Georgia, Mikey, going into Kentucky to Kroger Field. You wouldn't think it would have been that much of a problem, seeing as how Kentucky's offense was so inept the week before. Vandegrift, he couldn't hit an elephant in a tunnel. But Georgia comes in, and I will say, from my point of view, and y'all can tell me differently, but they were whipped on both sides of the line of scrimmage from what I saw, and they had a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I think all championship teams have to have some wins like that. You know, I really think it's a testament to the grit they have. But you're right. I mean, I'm sure Kirby gave him an earful, which I think I saw a clip or something of how he got after him this week of practice. But
really,
to their credit, I think it always goes back to the fact that you got to win games like that to win a championship. And
that's right.
They did, you know. Similar to how they last year with Missouri. It was a very
same thing.
Very
that's
similar,
right.
Same situation.
That's right. And I feel like if they didn't have the Florida transfer, ETN, they might not have had. They might not have won that ball game. Just watching it.
19 carries, 79 yards for 8.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Didn't have the lone touchdown, but Carson Beck was 15 of 24, 160.
Yep. I
mean, that's the quarterback that I think he is anyway. And when the rest of the team's not putting it all together, that's what he is, I think. I mean, that's.
Yeah, I'm not the number 1 overall pick like some people are.
No.
I'm with you, man. I think he's a solid guy.
That's right.
I don't think he's gonna win you a game,
but he's not necessarily. I was gonna say I don't think he's gonna lose you any games, but he will. He'll lose a ball game for him. Yeah, he'll be that guy.
1 total touchdown,
they
6 field goals.
A little bit of that rat poisoning that Kirby and Nick like to talk about.
You're right about that. I would not want to be. Who do they have this week? They have
Georgia. I don't know who Georgia's got this week.
It's probably another layup.
Yeah, it's a layup game.
But I would hate to be whoever it is that they're playing. I can tell you that because they are going to annihilate whoever it is to prove a point.
They may be off this week, maybe no.
Sure.
No, they're playing somebody because I did see that. Shame on me for not knowing. But the next game, the new number 1 now is Texas. Now they had a layup last week with UTSA. The Roadrunners came to town and I think they got beat 56-7, I believe it was. Quinn Ewers goes down with an abdominal strain. Arch Manning comes in, and how nice is that to know that you have a quality backup that can come in and just take over. What was his? Do we know what his stats were? What he had?
He had 5 total touchdowns.
He had 5 total touchdowns. Yeah.
First freshman to throw and run for a touchdown and a run over 60 yards. So he is definitely not falling far from the Manning greatness and the lineage. So
a little more speed though.
Yeah, I am too. I did see something though this week that said there's no way a Manning should move like this, and I have to agree with that.
Well, but you got to remember though, Arch had a set of wheels. Like that guy could run.
No, JD, I don't remember. I wasn't alive when Arch played.
Okay, I'll give you that. But what I'm saying is, if you go back and watch
SEC football shows,
yes,
give JD a break.
Yeah,
Mike, that's enough now.
Thanks, Mike.
Well, people forget too. His daddy was a really good athlete. He's a wide receiver.
No, that's right. Cupper
was when he went to Ole Miss. So
back problems
derailed. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting more of his dad's speed than his uncle's speed.
Yeah, quite possibly.
I think Texas is really building something there. Kirby took Saban's model and did what he's doing in Georgia, and I think that Sark is doing the same thing in Texas.
Yeah.
The difference is, it's the new kid on the block. Sark's got a lot of resources. The money behind the University of Texas is just unreal.
Yeah.
And, they're upgrading their facilities, their stadium. They're running through the big uterus now. All that stuff's come out. So
wait a minute, the big what?
the south end of the football field. Have you seen it?
I've been there,
okay. Anyway.
They're also building luxury boxes there.
Yeah.
That are already sold. Built 9 of them for $10 million a piece, and they're already gone.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah. One of our old booster guys over our NIL, Mike knows him. Joey Cutting is down there, and I got to tour the facility earlier in the year, and really impressed with what they're doing there. They're going to fit into the SEC nicely, as we already see. And they're going to have to, like Mike said, though, about Georgia, they're going to have to squeak through some games to make it, and you're going to see what they're made of. Sark has built that team on the O-line the correct way. He's put them good up front on both sides of the ball. And, look, I heard Coach Spurrier said one time that when he played at Tampa with John McKay, I was like, I want to hear a John McKay quote because I'm fascinated by that guy, or was. And he said, well, one time we were in a meeting, and one of our guys, and I'll just say the guy's name's John just for argument's sake, but he had fallen asleep during the meeting. Well, Coach McKay said the game is lost up front in the trenches. The game is lost on the offensive and defensive lines, guys. The game is lost right there. Well, he looked and saw John was asleep. He said, John was startled and woke up. He said, where are games lost, John? He goes, right here in Tampa Bay. So I believe that Sark has built the team correctly, and of course you're going to have the athletes. Everybody has the athletes in the SEC. It's one up front, and Mike knows that from all the SEC titles they won in the '90s with Coach Spurrier and what they had built there. So if anybody can speak to that, Mike can. Mike, how deep were y'all at Florida back then on your offensive and defensive lines?
I mean, that's where we had those just kind of, Kenyatta Walker, Max Starks, Shannon Smith. Zach Pillar, Cooper Carlisle. I'm talking about guys that, played for a number, 8, 9, 10 plus years in the NFL at high levels.
Right.
Winning Super Bowls. And then on the D-line side, I mean, Kevin Carter, Ellis Johnson, Gerard Warren, Alex Brown. Yeah. I mean, you just keep on and on. But, it's not I think, you sent me the clip of Tebow talking about kind of what's missing. Mm-hmm. I would agree with him because I said that the very first game. There's no fight going on, or it doesn't seem like there's much of a fight. Yeah. But I think even more importantly, I can't remember the exact word he used, but I just call it there's no mean tough guys out there on the field right now. And, that's right. And you watch Texas, you watch Georgia, all the teams in the top 5, top 10, they got some freaking guys up front that want to bury you, they want to hurt you. And it never fails. You win across the O&D line.
That's right.
It never fails.
I was talking
any level of football.
Exactly. I was talking to Brandon Spikes earlier in the week, and I just told him, I said, Bill Parcells had a quote way back, and it said that if they don't bite when they're puppies, they're not usually going to bite. And that's what I see out there right now. I just don't see a lot of dogs yet, and they may not have it in them. And I hate to call them out like that, because I know they're all subscribed to Jumpin Offsides, and so I hate calling them out like that, but that's what it is.
No, but that's the thing, though. Here's where I'm gonna.
I love this. You bring it on.
Listen, I tiptoe and not gonna use the other word I want, but we tiptoe.
You can say it.
That, well, if we talk bad or we talk hard or we get after these guys, they're gonna let them leave, because I don't need a 1-3 bunch looking like dog crap in the swamp anyway.
Agreed.
Go. If you don't like it here, go somewhere else and take your start there too.
Yes.
I love that.
Money for people. That's what is most frustrating.
Yeah.
For as a former guy, and I get it. It's different. Like all the old guys always say, it's not like it was, and it won't be. And I'm not hating on. I'm happy the guys are getting paid.
Sure.
100%.
Sure.
Love them.
Yep. No problem with that.
I'm also a big believer in start making stuff happen and have a want to and a give a damn attitude instead of just, I'm a roll out here, and if I don't feel like today, then maybe I don't give it my best.
I agree. I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Because I feel the same way, but it doesn't mean anything coming from somebody like me. But and you're right about tiptoeing around your words and things like that. To where that's right.
So let's jump into Florida. I mean, we're talking them.
I'm gonna tell you what, Kurt.
Texas 8-4. We're talking about that. So 33-20. What are your feelings on that, Mike?
Well, I mean, I don't even like using the end of the game score. What I've given, tell me the halftime score.
20-0. 20-0. That's
what was the Miami game?
Oh God.
23-10.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting worked, and then we're getting a couple of points here and there at the end to make it look like it's maybe not as bad, but
Garbage time.
We're getting whipped all across the board.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, back to the tiptoeing, I don't see Kirby tiptoeing around his guys.
You're right about that. Saban did.
I don't see Sark tiptoeing around his guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back to your point about physicality, let's talk about this. 52 net total yards of rushing for Florida in that game. Montrell Johnson was non-existent.
Yeah.
So,
but that's a bigger problem. That's your offensive line is that they are not there. Like that.
What was it the Saban said again the first week of college game day when he broke the internet about the $25 million payroll?
Yeah, JD's pulling that up.
Something he goes, it don't matter how much you pay him for something,
Yeah, that's right. About NIL, and quote it, JD.
I've got it somewhere. I don't know where it's at. I have to find it. But anyway, he was talking about NIL, and basically he was saying it doesn't matter how much you spend if you're not spending it on the right guys, and that's basically what he said. He actually said it doesn't give a shit how much money you spend if you're not spending it on the right guys.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So,
look, I'm the last person that would know how to recruit and pay these guys. And again, I love having them get paid. I do like Coach Spurrier's idea. Again, here's an old guy talking about Coach Spurrier.
No, bring it on.
There's some wisdom with our past, leaders and champions. He made the statement, hey, why don't we go back to recruitment like we used to, and then once they start performing, then we start rolling out the checkbook.
Agreed.
Because what that is that's exactly what's going to happen in the real world. That's what my fear is for a lot of these young guys is when they get out of football and maybe they don't get to play at the next level, and then they got to get a real job.
Yeah.
Somebody's not handing them a big 7-figure check just to show up to work every day.
Right. Right.
Well, speaking of
That's a whole
recruiting,
other soapbox issue.
It is.
If you're going to go, talking about recruiting, I mean, the number one wide receiver in the state of Florida out of Mandarin High School committed to Texas today. Like, that's insane. I mean, you think about players from Florida leaving to go to University of Texas. That's never happened. I mean, they stay in the state for the most part, and some of the SEC schools get them here and there. But
Yeah.
I mean, you just think about that for a second about what's going on for those kids to not want to play in state and go all the way to Texas to play because they see the offense, they see what's being done, the program's getting built the right way.
Yeah.
That's a hindrance. So,
Yeah. You can't have them leaving like that. It's perilous times in Gainesville, and I mean, I'm hearing a lot about the team has quit on Billy and all that. I don't know. We'll see this weekend. Mississippi State is poor Jeff Levy has his hands full down there, and his work is cut out. Florida's a favorite this weekend, and Mississippi State is going to run the football there because they see how putrid that defense is. I've never seen a defensive line that when the ball is snapped they stand straight up, and I've never seen guys get blown off the ball like that at that level of football that are supposed to be blue chippers.
Well, here's a stat for the A&M game.
Okay.
Texas A&M, 55 carries, 310 yards
On the ground.
against Florida.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That should not happen.
Yeah, that's what you call that's taking somebody's will and just
Yes.
ripping it right out of their guts.
As an O lineman, you absolutely love those games because you're eating. But
Yeah,
but
because you're just teeing off, you just burying them in the ground, and then to do it at our place.
Oh my
that's
gosh.
Kind of set wrong with me.
that's right. Yeah.
I'm shocked though that we're favored in Stark Vegas because notoriously the Gators have struggled.
Always struggled there. I would take State plus the 6.5, whatever it is. But I can tell you what I won't bet. I will not bet that 58.5 over under. Is that what it is?
Over under. I think it is 58.
I think it's 58.5.
You
Yeah,
need it under all day long.
58.5. Florida favored
They
5.5.
won't touch that because Mississippi State might get close to bumping it with running the football on us or something, but there's no way. I mean, we put up 45 points against Samford and didn't do that till the second half. It was 14-0 at the half. So I have zero faith in us scoring in bunches.
Well,
And we don't create turnovers, and I don't see it happening. The 58.5 is safe at the under.
Mike, I'll ask you this question too, because it's something that I floated online several times. Florida's basically on their third play caller in 3 years. Okay, you're going to Mississippi State, which their offense has been putrid. I mean, let's just call it what it is. But at the same time, we know that Levy can call plays. He's got that ability, and he's been a great play caller his whole career. Do you see that as being a huge factor? And do you think that the Florida players, having a third play caller in 3 seasons under Billy, also, even though they're running the same scheme they ran last year, is that a problem?
I mean, not knowing enough of the kind of what all when they say it's the play caller, like how much is he given the reins, and is he truly? Because I don't know that answer. I mean, that's what we're told. So it's hard to answer. I think whatever to keep harking back to Coach Spurrier, we got to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we switch our coordinators this game and let the defensive coordinator call the offense.
Let maybe Huey call the defense this time, and Ron sits over there and marks down what happened on the last play. I agree.
I mean, I'm to the point where why don't we just text it in, like get a hotline number.
PlayStation style.
Yeah. Yeah, just engage 8 all day long. Just fucking engage 8. That's all I want to see.
They got. I think didn't the USFL or one of those leagues they were letting fans some
Yes.
sort of arena league.
That's right. The fans
John
took all the
Manziel
plays.
league,
Yes.
Yeah.
Terrell Owens.
Yeah. The Pillsbury Throwboy, when he played the Arena League, that's what they did.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, hey, you know what? Let's not chance. Give him a hat, JD. Let's see what the old boy can do.
Now, give me a headset and a visor, and I'm good to go.
Huh?
Headset and a visor, and I'll reinvent the wheel down there. That's for sure.
I think we just
Look, I hate saying this, but it can't be any worse.
No, it absolutely cannot. And hey, I said this. You've heard me say this, but I can tell you, if William Bill Napier would grab somebody under the face mask and Cover Your Ears Melody, our producer, and motherfuck somebody, it would be a whole new ball game. It would.
He ain't gonna do it.
He's not going to do it. And he said
he should.
He told us. He told JD and I when we went down there. He said if we can't talk to these guys without yelling and cussing, then we don't need to talk to them. I agree to that to some extent, but a lot of these kids come from that world. Like that's what they answer to. And you know this. How many, this weekend they're going to be in the Central Time Zone. It's going to be an 11 o'clock kick in Starkville, Mississippi. How many of these 18 to 22-year-old guys need a fire lit under them to get their asses up and play early in the morning or at noon kickoff?
Yeah.
Because if you watch our teams historically, I don't care if it was when Tim Tebow was there. I don't care if it was a Billy Ray Muschamp team. I don't care if it was y'all. An 11, 12 o'clock kick, you didn't start really seeing everybody turn it on until 2:30, which would be the 3:30 kick game. Really.
Yeah.
Right at in that fourth quarter, where we won't back down. That's when we used to see everybody.
And I don't disagree. You don't have to MF or but you got to gear shift a guy. And I know again in today's age, you do that on TV and you're getting fired probably before the quarter's over.
Probably.
But you can still get in the guy's face.
That's right. Give him the what for.
Like guys, how? But just that's the one thing that I've kind of struggled with Billy's entire time at UF. I need a coach that gets volatile.
Yeah.
I'm okay if he said, "Hey, I'm not going to use a lot of foul language." Listen, I had a great mentor, Tom Allen. He's coach at Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Same exact way. Great Christian guy. I mean, I don't know if I heard him say one curse word my entire life.
Right.
But that guy would scare the living out of you quick.
Right.
And I think there's just I'll use the word volatility that I think all coaches have to have. And it's just like our dads.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were times when your dad didn't have to cuss you out either. I mean, he might.
Yeah. No, you're right.
But when Dad's voice raised, something was up. I just feel like
right.
there's not any of that going on.
I think Florida needs the version of Napier that knocked Dabo Swinney out in practice at Clemson. And that guy's not there right now. And
I think he's gone.
Yeah.
That's
I didn't even know, but that's news flash to me.
Yeah, he punched Dabo in the face right when he was getting let go. I think it may have been a little bit before when he was but his offense was in there, which offense last year offensive points and stuff weren't our problem. Everybody wanted to call for his head about offense, but it was greater than that. It was up front. Anyway, we can harp on that forever. We know what needs to be done, and hopefully they get it on track this weekend because, hey, we're 3 games into the season. Hey, what if they rattle off the next 6 or 7? Not likely, but what if they do? Then we're talking about a whole different deal.
You want to put that big icy watch on?
I will have it on the next show just to show everybody how what listening to my picks will do for you when you subscribe to the Parlay for Perfection.
No, I was going to say, do you want to bet that thing on
Well, that's what I was going to say. I
Put your money where your mouth is.
I probably
Gantt.
won't with that, Mike, because I see what needs to happen. I mean, I know what the problem is. That's what I'll say. But
listen, if anybody on this
panel,
if anybody on the show is diehard bleeding the orange and blue, I'm sitting right here and I don't have a lot of faith and hope right now. I'm just being quite honest.
Yeah. Well, how could you after the last
we all
three
know?
games?
Yeah, it's not about effort. It's about performance.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, Brandon Spikes tweeted it.
Won't be that.
Brandon Spikes X'd it today. He said, promises don't mean anything, actions speak louder. Or something to that effect. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, he sees it, he knows it, and we all know it. And it's time for a turnaround. And like the Little River Band used to sing, time for a cool change. And that's where we're at.
Maybe we change the subject to Red Solo Cup.
Well, hey,
Let's
you know what? I'm so glad. Well, I'm so glad you
How about a
said
little
that.
segue?
Yeah. Well, we are talking about teams.
That's what they call that in the biz, a little segue.
You're right. That's what I was going to say as we talk about poor performance or shitty performances. It takes us to Florida State. Now all the I can't even say that name. The Tallahassee Junior College Criminals. It takes us to them, and they're 0-3. They're trying to blame this on the guy who said, and I quote.
You want to read it?
Yes, I will.
You want me to read it?
You read it, JDFL.
At 321 Noel says, if Florida State loses to BC this weekend, I will eat dog shit out of a red Solo cup with a spoon and post a video of me doing it. Book it.
They got beat, as most everybody knows, they got beat. This guy went into hiding, has deleted his X account. He is done. Well, now the criminal faithful are saying they're cursed, so this guy has to go dig up, or they're saying at this point, just somebody eat some dog shit and get us out of the slump we're in. Somebody's got to do something. So,
Man.
Mike, have you ever seen anything like that out of such a dumb fan base?
No, I haven't. And God bless them that they're grasping for straws. That's why they're losing.
Yes, exactly. Their main reason for losing is they went to the portal and thought they got a savior who's a 3-year, 3-team starter in DJU. You mind me yelling? Got it right. And they get him, and he's not a leader. He's not the guy. From what I see, the poor kid's just having a hard time. And Norvell went to the portal last year, had success, hit it. It's not sustainable. And he hasn't recruited all that well from what I've seen. And now they're struggling. You know, it's come home to roost. All I heard was about they're going to have 4 guys picked in the top 50 of the draft from the D line. Or maybe that was Miami. I don't know. But Tallahassee is in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, they talked all offseason about this team speed and, the crew coming back and the guys they added. And we have not seen it, that's for sure. And not to correlate everything back with Florida, too, but I'm just curious, love your input on why are these coaches so reluctant to pull the trigger or make the change on key positions when it's obvious.
Yeah,
you got to get something.
Yes,
team rallying and going, and they just I don't understand. Even if the guy behind them, in our cases, I think he's better. But even if the guy up there is not better, you're gonna switch it up.
Maybe a spark. Yeah. And I'm that way. Watching when I watch the same guys. Get hit, miss tackles, and blow coverages. There's somebody back there that's wanting to play that'll get out there and do something, and that goes for Tallahassee and everybody, like all these coaches like that.
For the life of me, I just don't understand why it seems like it's very, I hate to say money driven, but it's almost to the, I don't know any other reason why they won't pull them other than, hey, the NIL's paying this guy X.
Yeah, that's right.
And so is going to be ticked off.
That's right.
We told him or her to pay.
Mm-hmm. Booster A's handling that payroll this week.
I don't know what else. I don't know another reason why they wouldn't pull them or switch.
Yeah.
I could be totally wrong, but I can't figure it out. That's for sure.
Right. Well, we've met all the matches on that, and God knows we can talk forever about how bad that was. LSU squeaked out one at South Carolina, made that happen.
That was a great game.
It was a good game, great game. South Carolina's quarterback going down really hurt them that second half, and Nussmeier is the real deal. There were a couple questionable calls perhaps in that game that they're talking about. But
2 pick sixes overturned.
Well,
so
yeah.
I mean, granted, one was for sure a penalty. The other one,
Yeah.
You know, this day and age, they're going to protect the quarterback. So it looked to me as if he wasn't necessarily looking toward the guy that intercepted the ball, and so. You know, I don't know if you consider that a crackback block or how they consider it, even if it's a defensive player on a defenseless player.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what South Carolina's coach was told by the SEC office, because he didn't really come out and say it in his presser. But
yeah.
How about those two dogs that South Carolina has out on the edges?
Oh man.
Oh.
Man, they're tough, man. They're so
Give
quick.
me some of those boys down
I'm telling you.
That's right.
Yes, they're good, man.
See if we can't mess them up.
You know, that was what was so surprising to me is how bad they just whipped Kentucky like they did last week.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, to see Georgia struggle with Kentucky, you know, it's a week-to-week deal. And you know, you saw Brian Kelly say that in his presser.
Yeah.
Like, if you go back, basically saying, well, if you go by the we beat, they beat, we just beat South Carolina, who whipped Kentucky, who almost beat Georgia, so we'll beat Georgia by 2 touchdowns.
Right.
And you know, it was more of a looking at the reporters and saying, like, look, guys, I mean, come on, you know, we can't go by that. But I think South Carolina's got a good team. I really do.
They're not bad.
Yeah.
Beamer's he's done okay up there.
Is he on the hot seat?
I don't
think so. I really don't. I think they're, this is a juggernaut this year, and they've got a real fritzy head coach, but it reminds me of Ole Miss, Mike, where they are marred in mediocrity. They've never won anything, and so they're happy. Give me a bowl game and give me a decent bowl, and we can go win, and we're happy. Our coach will sign a lifetime contract. And the same way with Ole Miss. Now they're getting a taste of success with Lane, and they're, who knows if it's sustainable or not. He's a great coach, and a lot of rumors flying around about him. But Ole Miss is happy winning 7, 8, 9 games and get us to a decent bowl and let us win, and we'll go to the Grove and drink and party all night.
But you let them get a taste of winning a few games and being on top. That all changes. I mean, I think that
expectations change.
Right. And so
they'll fire Lane after his first 9-3 season.
Yeah.
If they are able to win it, because then they'll expect to win it. Our other games that we have coming up this week. This is our Parlay for Perfection segment of the show, brought to you by Bass Energy Services. Bringing that to us this week, along with Rotag. And we have some games picked, Mike. We have some lines out there, some over-unders that we want to hit, and we will be marking this down to see who does what and who comes out on top this weekend. I mean, like most weekends, I'm probably going to win this deal. But,
if we would have written last week down, I might have snuck up on the old farm man and got me a couple of dollars out of that back pocket.
I doubt it, but JD, throw us some games out here, and by my knowledge, I will direct us in the right way, or you can go against me if you want to lose.
Okay, so we've got the first one we'll pull up is NC State Clemson. Clemson minus 18.5. NC State struggled a couple weeks in a row.
I was just about to say that. They struggled with Louisiana
Tech last week. The week before, they got boat raced by Tennessee.
Well,
so, over, under 44.5.
Mike, what do you think?
I always love Clemson at home, and they, for whatever reason, where the Gators hate playing at noon, they seem like they love it.
They do. Agreed.
You know, and it's so I'm gonna take Clemson, and I actually like the over on this one.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna go with you because I think they're gonna house the Dave Dorns over there.
Yeah.
At NC State.
I mean, they did just score a school record, or was it an NCAA record, 50-something points in the first minute of the game.
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago or
yeah,
something.
whatever it was. Yeah. Yeah. Next, Jenny, who did you like?
Okay, it's going to be hard to go against Clemson. I think that I like the over too, 44.5. I mean, NC State is they haven't been as advertised.
Yeah.
You know, everybody before the season pumped them up, hyped them. I can see Clemson winning this game 44-14. I mean, that's just
okay.
So,
there you have that prediction.
Next one we're going to look at, Mike P. USC Michigan, USC minus 5.
At the big house.
At the big house, over under 43.5.
I'm gonna take the under, and I think Michigan rallied, boys.
Whoa! They are playing a different quarterback this week.
Yeah.
Now, don't you have a pretty cool recruiting story from Michigan back in the day?
It was the year they were winning the national championship. Charles Woodson, the Heisman.
Lloyd Carr
got picked up at the airport from Drew Henson. At the time was number one overall recruit, already committed. And then Coach Carr, and then the Bo Schembechler.
Wow.
It was a pretty neat experience, and my mom was with me, and so the funny story is we're walking around campus with Bo Schembechler, and my mom kind of looks around, she's like, well, this is Schembechler Hall, you know, I thought they only named buildings after people who had died. And Coach Schembechler, he bowed up, and it was like, he put that coaching hat back on. I'm still here, about to go. So it was, I'm like, Mom, please stop talking. Please stop talking.
Didn't you ask about your girlfriend getting to come to school there or something too?
Yeah, this was back when they didn't have all that good NIL stuff. So Coach Callahan and I had this kind of plan to they're going to put the hard press on you to sign when you're there. So we're like, well, we just tell them, hey, we got to get my girlfriend, who's now my wife.
Nice.
So it all worked out. But said, hey, if you get her up here, I'll sign. Well, we're thinking they're just going to say no, and then I'm with at breakfast with Coach Schembechler, and he looks and he goes, we'll do that. Well, that didn't work.
Negotiating powers.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. They called our bluff. So.
What was Coach Spurrier's pitch to you?
I think he knew in the back of his head. I mean, like guys, when I say my dad and I mean, we loved it, watched it, went to games. I mean, I wasn't going anywhere else.
Right.
Even if somebody would have had a bag of cash for me, but he said something that I still kind of tell some kids today when they ask, and he said, Mike, when you're done playing football, where do you think you'll live? And, I'm 17 years old, and my coach, he goes, well, he said, I'll answer for you. You're probably going to live in the state of Florida. And I said, yeah, you're probably right. He goes, so I'm just telling you, having a degree in playing football at the University of Florida and coming back here to live is going to mean a lot more for the rest of your life and help you in your life and in business than having a degree in playing football from University of Michigan. And that stuck with me as a kid, and to this day, he is 100%. He is very, very right on that statement.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
But what did he tell a lot of kids though? He would say, "Well, that's fine. Be a Gator. No, don't be a Gator. We're just gonna beat you."
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah, and yeah. Hey, if you don't sign here, then we'll probably beat you anyway. So it's your choice.
Next game, JD.
You didn't pick. I need your pick. USC.
Oh, USC, Michigan. Yeah. I'm liking USC there. They're going to go up to the big house. It's not going to mean anything, and they'll run through them. I feel like, before quick get ready.
Pick them to cover?
Yeah, they'll cover it.
Over or under?
I'm staying away from the over-under. I don't want to mess with that.
JD, you're writing this down, correct?
I'm writing it down.
Write this down.
I can't wait to have that farmhand give me a big old lot of that. Back.
That ranch hand's going to come back from the left, and it's going to take you. You're going to probably have a little CTE after that. So,
I think USC going to Michigan. I mean, they played well in week 1 against LSU. The QB looked pretty good. I mean, I think they've got their defense shored up. They've had quite a bit of new faces on their defense. I just think USC goes to Michigan and handles them. I mean, I think it's a 7-8 point ball game somewhere in there. I'm not sold on Michigan. I'm just not sold on them.
I'm not either.
I mean, they're not playing them in October, November. It's not going to be cold.
Yeah.
The weather's going to be okay, so it's not like they're getting them late in the season and they're going from
the fighting day of Portland
90-degree weather to 20-degree weather. So
they're going to shit and fall backwards.
Yeah. So I'm taking USC.
USC.
All right. Let's go to Georgia Tech, Louisville. Georgia Tech giving up 10.5 to Louisville.
Man, I'm going to tell you, as somebody that would take Brom in a heartbeat at Florida, give me the Louisville Cardinals all day long. I love what he does down there. I'm very close with Art, who is Jeff's best friend, and he wouldn't leave there for any amount of money. He has a great facilities. He's doing something at Louisville. Give me Louisville. I like them.
It's at Louisville? Is that game at Louisville or at Georgia Tech?
It's
at Louisville?
It's at
Okay.
Cardinal Stadium, Papa John's Stadium there.
What about you, Mike?
The house that Art built.
Man, I'm gonna go Louisville just because they're up there. But I really like that QB at Georgia Tech.
I do too.
Yeah.
Haynes King. Yeah. I like it.
I was kind of peeved when they got housed up in Cuse, but
right.
I still like him a lot. I think
they're going to be hung over for that one, Mike. Just coming up, going up to Louisville.
I'm going to take Georgia Tech. I mean, I think 10.5 is a lot. I think Georgia Tech's played some decent football, which granted we know now that Florida State's terrible, so that win is not as big as what we thought it was going to be at week 0.
Yeah.
But I do feel like, Georgia Tech's they've done some nice things. I mean, the Carrier Dome's a hard place to play. I mean, I watched LSU go up there and struggle with Syracuse year that we were undefeated. I mean, it's been a tough. It's not easy playing there, and then they've got a decent QB. The kid from Ohio State transferred that played all year last year in the Big Ten. So I mean, I think they're a lot better.
McCord, right?
McCord, yeah, Kyle McCord.
Yeah.
If Louisville wins, I'm looking for it to be a 3 to 4 point ball game. I don't think it's going to be 10.5. I could be wrong, but that's my pick. Over under 57.5. I think that's high.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech runs the ball a lot, and
I'm
taking the under on that.
Yeah, I take the under on that too.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to the SEC here. Arkansas, Auburn. Auburn minus 2.5 at Jordan-Hare.
Man, this is.
Go ahead, Mike.
I don't know, man. I was in love with their QB, and then now he looks like he.
Yeah.
It's at Jordan-Hare though.
Yes.
I'll stick with Auburn. I mean, that's a tough place to win.
You can stick with them, but you're going to be wrong. Give me Arkansas all the way. Bob Petrino, going to have it rolling. Now, I watched a quarterback this past weekend, and he is really missed a lot of throws for Arkansas, but I like them. And nobody's afraid of Jordan Hare anymore. I mean, my gosh, Cal came in there and Cal kicked Auburn that weekend. So give me Arkansas or give me.
Get on Sammy one of those nice cold beers y'all got right there on your coffee table behind you.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to take Arkansas. I'm going to take Arkansas, but I'm going to take the over.
Okay.
I think both of these defenses are awful. Petrino's going to put up at least 38.
Oh, wow.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm looking at both teams being close to the 40s. The over/under is 56.5.
QB at Arkansas?
Who is the QB at Arkansas? I mean, I watched them play Oklahoma State, and he lit it up for a while, and then he kind of came back.
The big guy went to where? UCF.
Yeah, he comes in October 5th.
KJ Jefferson, yeah. Next game, let's see here. Let's go Vandy, Mizzou. Mizzou minus 20.
This is an interesting one because Vandy came out swinging and they got them a couple wins early, and they do that. And everybody kind of thinks, oh, no, it's anchor's down. They know what they're doing, but they put the anchors back up, and then the boat just rolls over. Give me Mizzou. Give me the points. Now, it's one of those games where Drinkwitz could struggle, that they could sleepwalk through the first half or something and kind of make it close. But give me Missouri. I like what Drink's doing there.
So I'm the same. Give me Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay. Newcomer to the SEC. Boomer. Tennessee. Josh Heupel back at Norman. OU giving up 7.5 at home.
Our executive producer is over here with the thumbs down right now.
Heupel's going to wear them out.
Melody, yes. OU is not going to keep up with that tempo. Heupel's going to, yeah. I don't think they're going to score 60, but Nico's going to light it up.
56.5 is
okay. In his heart, and he's bringing it with him.
That's correct.
Bad intention.
Yeah.
So y'all are both taking Tennessee in the under.
Yes, and I'm still not I am not a Venables as a head coach guy. I'm a Venables as a D coordinator all day long, but I don't like it.
They did him dirty.
Yeah, that's right.
They did one of their own dirty.
Yeah,
he's gonna let them know about it.
That's right. Trouble in Norman. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Rocky Top's gonna be. It'll be the new state song after this week.
They better hope Bosworth comes out of town or something. So.
Yeah, well, he's not. Neither is Billy Sims, so they're effed.
No.
I think I'm going to go with y'all on this. I just think
want to win.
I honestly think Tennessee goes to OU and boat races them. I don't think it's going to be even close.
No.
Next game, we're going to go UCLA in Baton Rouge against LSU. LSU favored 24.5.
I'm taking LSU.
I am too at home.
They're going to work the points.
They kind of figured out how to run the football enough to maybe get a linebacker to bite on a play action. So Garrett Nussmeier to the rescue. It's going to get ugly, I hope.
Yeah.
All right. So last game, let's go your Gators in Stark Vegas.
We have to end the show every time with this, and Mike
5.5.
Bet with our hearts.
Hold on. Yeah. Y'all keep talking. I'll just hold on a second. I'm going to get my camera off. So y'all keep talking.
All right.
So we've got Florida minus 5.5,
Which
against
is insane.
The Fighting Cowbells.
Yeah.
58.5 over under.
Which is we hadn't scored more than I don't get that. Like
Chance, look over your right shoulder.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ready.
He's back. Yes. Was that a lacrosse helmet?
Oh, lacrosse face mask.
Dude, that's that old tackle over Chance, they need me on Henry and Henry. I was ready for Coach to give me the ball.
Well, thank God they never did.
No, so funny story about this face mask is Rex and Kilo and A-Walk and Brock, they gave me so much crap for this thing, and then I just kept wearing it just to make them mad.
I love it. I bet you're gonna have to wait till the show's over to take it off though. I didn't know they made an 8 3/8 helmet though.
Here we go. Here we go.
All right, so John David, you picked that one first.
Man,
It's a pile of points now on the over/under. It's 58.5. Big P.
I'm going to say this. I was an unbiased fan at the Florida-Miami game. I watched it. The physicality from Florida is just not what I'm used to seeing. I don't think it is, but I also think, Mississippi State is terrible right now. Even though Levy's, he's new. What was that? Was it Zach? What was his name? The coach last year that took over after the Pirate passed away. Those kids over there don't know how to win. They've never won anything really. Since Dan left, which we can talk about Dan anyway. But I just feel like Florida's going to go over there and handle business. I mean, I think they'll win by 7 to 10 points. Even though it's a morning game, I just think that they've got to get this thing rolling in the right direction. I mean, if for some reason Florida can run the ball, it's going to change everything. If they can run the ball a little bit on Mississippi State, they can open it up. I just feel like they're going to win the game by at least 7 to 10 points. I'm looking for a 35 to 21 game, somewhere in there, 35-28, something like that.
For all my gamblers out there that are going to go with me, I hope that I'm wrong, but I'm taking State plus the 6.5 or 6. What is
5.5.
Okay.
You're out of my face.
Well, this is not because I'm not.
I'm not even a Gator fan, and I'm going with them.
It doesn't make a damn if both of y'all will shut up and listen just for a minute. Yes, that's y'all's problem. Y'all talk too much. You do a little more tuning in than broadcasting, y'all would be a lot better off. But my Gators are going to win the game, but they're not going to cover the 5.5. And buy that hook, Jimmy, and get it up to 6 points. Okay.
I mean, we got Mike. He's ready to suit up, and you're not even going with it.
Mike Corso over there. I mean, it's a little early for the headgear.
Oh man, this is good.
I told you. Hey, here's the deal. We're gonna win the game.
Okay.
You're gonna lose money.
I'm not losing money because I'm betting for us to win the game. We're not covering the points, and we wouldn't touch 58.5.
Yeah,
that's the under.
Give me the under.
Finally, you said something that makes sense tonight, Mike.
And I'm going to quote the score, and this is where you could take it to the bank.
Okay.
Gators 21, Mississippi State 18.
21 to 18.
So you're betting for them not to cover. That's just what I bet, which is the same thing. You got all heartbroken earlier when I said that about State. So I'm taking State in the points.
Well, it's kind of like when you take the kids to the pizza place and you tell them, "Hey, you ain't getting any pizza tonight, but I'm going to get you some crazy bread."
We can eat salad at the pizza place.
Yeah. No, I'm saying the Gators are going to win. They're not covering the 6, which is exactly what you just said. I'm going to have a better show. We're going to strip it down for Mike just so he understands how we're gambling, okay?
I just need you to get to the darn point is what I'd like to do.
Vegas Dave cannot do what I do. Vegas Dave cannot pick these games as good as I pick them. I'm just saying, State beats the spread. I want Florida to win, and we're taking the under.
All right.
How does that sound, Jimmy Dale?
You're back in the circle of trust.
Okay. All right. As long as I'm in the Fave 5, I'm good.
So both you Gator fans are taking the points for Mississippi State.
Correct.
And I'm going 31-24 Florida.
Yeah, you're picking Florida to cover.
I mean, good gosh, what's going on here?
But we still bet with
That's
our
good.
hearts.
You drank some of that Cajun moonshine or something for tonight's show.
Maybe so.
It's hitting you.
No.
Now it's hitting you.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Miller
Apple
Lite
pie
brought to you
moonshine.
by Inside Rail down at Louisiana Downs. Less filling and tastes great. Right here, John Madden. All right. So those are our picks. That's what we have for the show tonight. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. We got it worked out. Mike, thank you for joining us, man, and being part of this show. As we grow, this thing is going to just get better and better and better. So smash that like and subscribe button. Tell all your friends about it. Get them on the Jumpin' Offsides podcast.
Love it, boys.
Yes. Jumpin' Offsides. Thank you, Mike, for being here. And as I say each week, I can't stress this enough. Strive for perfection and settle for excellence. Jumpin' Offsides, part of the Parlay for Perfection podcast.